right, what is going on, everybody? Hopefully everything's working fine. The internet seems to be a little sketchy right now. It keeps dropping, coming back up. So I gave it another minute. I restarted my machine. So hopefully it looks good right now, but hopefully it sticks around. I know in the past few streams of this, it's kind of dropped here or there, but it looked pretty bad this time. So hopefully it stays well enough. I mean, it looks good right now, so we're just gonna go with it. So what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday! Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, man, we're almost done. We got the last 20 to do. So we got Mike Title Blades called. It wants its spot back. Okay. Just keep taking those calls for me, Mike. I'll get back to it at some point. Jason, I've caught the replays of the previous videos. Happy to be here for the live thing. That's what's up, Jason. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. Frodo, hey, all you lovely people. What's up, Frodo? Freddie, let's do this. Freddie, I think you're going to like some on this list, man. And Mike as well. I know Mike's really going to be questioning some of the picks, but hopefully I can redeem myself with some other ones. So AV is good now. Okay, sweet. Yeah, it looks like it's staying strong right now. We're just going to roll with the punches, as usual. So, yeah, just to recap a few things. So, again, if you have missed some of the other videos, I used Pub Meeple. I did a top 50. I threw in 64 games. I was originally only going to do 20. But then there was so many other games. I was like, I wonder where this falls. So I threw in 64. I own more games than that. Just out of curiosity to see where they ended up, and that kind of ended up being my top 50. Like I mentioned before, also the top 10, even going through Pub Meeple, I made the top 10 on my own prior to going through Pub Meeple, and it turns out to be the same. So to be expected. That was pretty cool to see that it lined up like that. And it was really interesting to see what, where everything else fell. So I don't think I'm going to recap the previous 30. But there were some that fell quite a bit. Raiders, again, I think that was in my mentions last year when I only did the top 10. But I mentioned Raiders, still really like the game, but it fell quite a bit to 51. Let's see, what was the other one? Scythe, I believe that was my number 10 last year. That fell to 41. Quite a big drop. And I don't think anything else. And Nemesis was 24 this year. I believe that was either from like 6. I want to say like maybe 5th to 7th, somewhere around there. But yeah, that fell quite a bit as well. So cool to see. Some new games made some appearances. There are still new games that are going to make an appearance. So yeah, very fun stuff. And I think next year, I think I mentioned this already, but next year I'm going to try to do 100. I should be able to. And yeah, so that's where we are right now. Who's that? Dimitri's here. Oh God, let's get this ban button going. Just kidding, man. What's up, dude? Matthew Rose, what's up, Andrew? Hello, everyone. What's up, Matt? Hope your night's going good. Nemesis, that was the one with the figurines. Here we go. You're pushing it, bro. You're pushing it, brother. Okay, so let's just hop right into it. And again, I encourage you, if you guys have done this list, if you haven't shared, I know people have been sharing in the Discord, mainly the top, I think Pub Meeple prints out a nice 3x3 top 9. But if you guys have done any more than that, like if you've gone through Pub Meeple or you've just done it on your own, when I'm going through these numbers, feel free to share. I'm always curious to see where games fall and stuff like that. How about, yeah, it's thin ice, bro. Okay, so I think let's just hop right into it with number 20. So number 20 is a new game that I played this year. Came out this year, I believe. And this is Ashes Reborn, more specifically the let's get this out of here. More specifically the solo mode, the Red Rains. So Ash is, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, used to be a card game. It's a head-to-head game. Uh, Back in the day, the I think it was hard to get, so it was revived, hence the Reborn title. I don't know if they redid anything as far as artwork or cards or anything like that, like abilities on the cards. I'm not entirely sure. But they did come out with a solo mode for this. I haven't played this head to head. I've only played the solo mode, but I fell in love with this game. So you are playing as this Phoenixborn, and each Phoenixborn has a unique deck. They kind of share similar ways that they work in that some cards are going to be able to summon outside monsters outside of your hand of cards. Other effects, but they're all unique. So like you might have like a witch doctor who's going to play these cards, and you might have effects that deal damage to your own units, but that's also going to grant you some abilities. Some might be more attachment focused, stuff like that. And then so you're going to go against this, what are they called? The bosses. I forget exactly what they're called. But so the bosses are going to have their own deck type. So throughout the game, you're going to be rolling this die that's going to determine what the AI is going to do. And it's very straightforward. You just roll, you look at this small card, and it's just going to say, reveal the top card. And you might reveal it, uncover it. You have a face down deck of enemy cards. Okay, you reveal this one. Each of the enemy cards is going to have their own unique abilities, attack, stuff like that. Who they're going to attack, either your leftmost unit in your deck or the right unit in your line of cards, or you yourself as your Phoenixborn. Or the die roll might say, reveal this and then immediately attack. So there's these various different types of things that are going to happen on that. Also, you're going to roll these other dice that are going to, I forget exactly what they're called, but if it lands on the shard symbol, you're going to slot that into the AI board. And once they fill up that slot with, it's like 5 or 6 dice, they're going to get a red range token. Once they get 3 red range tokens throughout the course of the game, they're going to power up. They're going to get a little bit stronger. And at this point, I think there's 2, looks like hopefully the video, I just got notified that the video might be a little choppy. I think if it does fall, the audio is still going to be good. So we're still just going to roll with it. But I think at this point, there's 2 different bosses, but there's 2 different deck types for each of those bosses. And it mixes it up pretty well between them. I love this whole, and I'll talk about, more about the characters that you play as the Phoenixborn in a second. But I just love the playing out the cards, and then just, you have to pick and choose, if you're going to attack, because once you attack, your unit is exhausted, and the boss might block for those units. And then if you're exhausted, now you can't even defend, so they're going to come in. So there's this real interaction with, being strategic on when to attack with your units, when not to, how to play your cards, when to play them, what units to play. I always feel like my units for the Phoenixborn are a little bit weaker than the bosses, but you're going to have some cool abilities that are going to interact with those enemies that are going to do some pretty cool stuff. Each of the Phoenixborn also on their individual card has unique abilities as well. But another really cool thing about this is to pay for the cards, the cost to pay for them, you're going to roll dice. And what's cool is you can kind of pick and choose which dice you roll. There's different colored dice, and there's 3 symbols on each dice. So you can pay the cost of these cards, but the dice themselves, you can use them to perform certain effects. So let's say I didn't use this die to pay for a card. I can instead use this color. If it's the black die, I can return a card from the discard pile to my hand, and then I might be dealt a damage. Or if I'm using the blue dice, I might be able to do a direct damage to any target or any creature, something like that. So it's pretty cool. In some of the characters, they might say, I might look at it and I'm like, okay, this character is using more black and blue dice. I love those colors, right? Dealing direct damage is always cool. I can get cards back from the discard. I think I'm going to like this character. So, and you can build out. So you can say, yeah, but most of my cards need the black dice for the cost. So maybe I'm going to throw in 6 black dice and 4 blue dice. It's not really working out. Maybe I'm going to do half and half, 5 black, 5 blue. So you can play with the dice like that as well. I just find that so fun, being able to, have 2 different options for your dice. It's just a lot of fun. And there's a tiered system in the faces that the dice roll. it's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of decks that come in this. A lot of different Phoenix Born. There's a lot out there for it. And since then, I've gotten some expansions. I just find, like, especially lately, this has kind of been my go-to for these types of games, kind of in the realm of the Sky Tier Horde. Sky Tier Horde would have been higher on my list if it wasn't for this game. This has kind of knocked Sky Tier Horde out for me. I can get games played faster, more straightforward. I don't have as many questions about what's going on. This has just been a load of fun. I love this. Chimera, that's right, absolutely. Okay, let's see. I have zero sleep as of today. Very busy day. JF, what's up, dude? Ashes, yeah, man. That's right, Freddy. That's right. Is this a new edition? Yeah, so this is the Reborn. So I don't even think you can get prior Ashes stuff. They revamped this. You know, I think either a company is helping. Is it Plaid Hat? Yeah, so I think Plaid Hat either bought the rights and reprinted or is just helping the company. I don't know. I don't know the lore behind this. But either way, this is, Reborn. This is the new stuff. If you do want to play solo, you also will need a smaller box expansion. Right? No, it's Scourge, Frostwood Scourge. I think that's the solo mode. That's going to come with a separate board, the AI dice, the shards, the deck, the enemy deck, stuff like that. So you will need that in addition to this. I've not seen this game. Thank you for being honest, Matt. Appreciate that. I don't think it went to Kickstarter. Again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think this went to Kickstarter. I got this. The company did send me this, so shout out to them. But then I loved it so much, I started buying all these expansion packs. And there's like deluxe expansion packs that come with separate dice, which I'm really excited to dive into those. But you can find all this stuff on retail. Well, Greg, what's up, man? How's it going, dude? I got your message saying you were pretty busy. Gonna catch the next one live. So what's up, man? Glad you can make it. Yeah, and I'm excited about the new Chimera. I've already played with both decks of each Chimera. I'm really happy about that. Like what they've been able to do. Always looking out for. I know, Mike. I know. Yeah, dude, and Frodo, I know White Rabbit Scribe, Mike have played this game. They really enjoy it as well. So it's Corpse of Virus. It's Corpse of Virus. Frostwood Scourge is the latest solo box expansion. That's right. Mike's right. Yep. Okay, Freddie says his number 20 is Vengeance, the board game, not the roll and write. Very cool. I've never played that one, Freddie. That's awesome, man. Okay. All right. And just a quick shout out, guys, if you haven't yet, please click the like button on the video. Seriously helps out the video and the channel. I do truly appreciate it. Okay, that was number 20. Love that game. I absolutely love that game. I can see that as I learn more of the Phoenix Born and getting more Chimeras, I could see that one rising a little bit. It's the perfect game to just bust out, at the end of a day. Just get a game or two in. It's easy to pack up. It's great. Okay, next one kind of fits that bill as well. This one is G.I. Joe, the deck building game, number 19. So this one, another deck building game. The other one wasn't really a deck building game, but card game, small box card game. You can see the size of it. In this, you're playing as some G.I. Joes. You have you're going to be tackling these missions. The whole point of the game is to beat the last mission. So over the course of the game, you're going to be drawing missions. They're going to be needing or requiring certain advantages for you to complete. So you're going to, as the Joes, you're going to be building a team, traveling on these vehicles, tackling those missions. So you can bring a different variety of different types of Joes. Over the course of the game, you're going to be acquiring new Joes, stronger Joes with different abilities that might be better suited to handle certain types of missions. And those you're going to be building out your deck. So the cool thing is that I really like about this is it also has a dice element. So let's say you have a Joe, for the current mission, it might say it's weak against stealth and vehicles. So you might have a Joe that is strong in stealth. He's going to be able to roll. He's got a stealth value of 4. So that means if you bring him onto that mission, he's going to be able to roll 4 dice to try to get those successes. So the current mission might only need 4 successes, but a lot of the sides of the dice are blanks. So there is a failure if you don't get the amount of successes for the mission. So you might bring this Joe that's good at vehicles. You might try to bring this guy that's good at stealth. And you might have some regular Joes that just add 1 die. So you roll the dice, you try to get the successes, and then you complete the mission. It goes into a success pile. And that's basically what you're going to be doing throughout the course of the game. Once you complete that mission, it goes away. Your Joes go into the discard. And whatever cards you have left in hand, they have a certain recruitment cost on them that can be used to purchase new cards from a face-up deck of 6 cards, I believe. And those are going to be replenishing throughout the course of the game. So then you might see what's also really cool is the next mission is face up. So even though you're tackling this current mission, you might see the next mission requires some other sort of value. I already use vehicles, but let's say it takes a different one of 3. Well, now you see a card in the face up pile that is good against that sort of advantage. So now you use those cards to purchase that guy back into your discard. So it's this real balance of I got these Joes that are good at this current mission, but if I play all these guys, I'm not going to have enough reinforcement points to purchase this other card that's good against the next mission. It's this really interesting way of going about it. And the solo mode, I haven't played multiplayer, only solo. I'll shout out if I play the game multiplayer in all future games. But so only played solo, but there's this really cool thing of you kind of get, it's not 2 turns, but for each 2 of your turns that costs 1 round, where it otherwise it plays a little bit different as multiplayer. I just love the whole system. You can acquire new vehicles that might allow different numbers of Joes. They might have an advantage on different types of terrain for each of those missions. You can acquire like different one-time use cards, different Joes like I've been mentioning. You can level up your main Joe to a promoted side. It's this really cool. I've just really enjoyed it. And what's also cool is the missions too. They do have a face down element of these complication cards. So even though you see that you only need 4 successes, you might go and try to tackle that mission. But flipping these cards face up, it might add difficulties to the mission. It might say now the difficulty is 6, some stuff that you don't know. So I just love all those elements of the game. It plays relatively quick. You can reduce the time by reducing taking out some missions. And as long as you beat the last mission in the game, you win. So, G.I. Joe deck building game. Bought a few expansions. I do really recommend it. And the expansions so far have been really good as well. Really good. Okay. Raise the Flag is a good expansion for this game. Raise the Flag. Is that a new one coming out? So I have the Cold Snap, which is really good. It adds these cold... it's like intermittent missions in between the main ones that you have to tackle. And then I also have the Transformers crossover. I haven't dove into any of those cards yet. Okay, let's see. Spec deck builders, but it ain't my style. I hear you, Matt. Okay, all right. Love the theme and the art with this one. Unfortunately, it just didn't... Yeah, and Freddie, what was the other one you were saying that was kind of similar to this? It was it Venom or something like that? I know you were saying there was one similar to this. I would love to give that one a shot because I do really like what this one's doing. All right, that was number 19. Number 19. Okay. Number 18. This is a big box. This is Super, got some domino effects going on, Super Fantasy Brawl. Super Fantasy Brawl number 18. Venom Assault, okay. Nice, okay, SBGK. All right, I'm going to have to check that one out. I'm trying to play through the expansions that I do have first before getting all of them, but I can see I am going to eventually get it all. That's awesome. Good to hear that, though. Okay, Super Fantasy Brawl. This is a head-to-head skirmish type game. So you are playing as these heroes, these great warriors that were brought back. These mages, they're living in this city. They got bored, so they decided to conjure up some magic and bring back these warriors. So each player is going to have these three warriors. There's a lot to choose from. Each one has its own unique ability and comes with a pretty unique deck of cards. And you're basically going to be going around this pretty small board and trying to take out the other heroes as well as capturing certain objective points on the map. So the point of this game is to have 5 points. So there's going to be a deck of cards at the top of the board, and it's going to say maybe stand next to or have like your hero adjacent to the yellow statue for a turn or for 2 turns, something like that. If you complete that, you're going to get 2 points. The cool thing about this is those cards are always shifting positions down as the game goes on, so they might become different values. Like you might score a different amount of points depending on where they are in that track. And what's also cool is you score the points at the start of your round. So if you didn't fulfill that yet, you're making moves. Maybe you set up your units to be adjacent to that yellow statue. Well, you don't score that point because it's at the beginning of your round. Now the enemy has a turn to come in and stop you from doing that. Cards can be different things like ranged attacks. You can do straight movement of like 3 and then deal 3 attack. You can do area of effect attacks. You can push. Statues kind of aid with the objectives for the mission cards and stuff like that. But then the models are really cool, or as Dimitri would call it, the figurines. Don't even get me started. The minis are amazing. They're these big chunky minis. The board is small, so there's a lot of interaction early on. But a really cool thing about this game is that you have 3 different cores. So blue, yellow, and red. So you are going to have 3 different color cards in your hand. And it looks like, is the stream acting up again? So you're going to have a hand of cards, and each of those cards is going to be one of those 3 colors. It's also going to pertain to a certain hero that you have. So let's say I have all 3 of my cores available. I want to which one you want to do. You can activate the same hero multiple times if you have the other color cards for them. It's very interesting how it works. If you don't have any cards, you can still use generic like movement, healing to activate those cores. Use reactions on the opponent's turn, but that's going to use one of your cores. So you might have a yellow reaction. I flip my yellow core to block some of that damage. But at the start of my turn, now that yellow core has already been used. So now on my turn, I only have 2 cores to use. So there's this real balance of, what do I do? Yeah, it looks like the stream is kind of acting up. I don't know. The internet's just, it has its days. It has its days. So yeah, there's this really cool element of just, man, I'm about to be taken out. I got to use this core, but that only leaves me with yellow and blue. Oh man, I don't really have many good yellow and blue cards in my hand to use the next turn. I love it a lot. I played this a lot with my stepson. Had a blast. It's pretty straightforward. It plays quick. There's a lot of different characters to choose from. Like I said, each character has its own unique ability and cards. And if you take out the other heroes, what's cool is your hero, whoever took them out, will level up, become a slightly stronger side. And their hero can come back. They're going to get some points, but it doesn't mean that that hero is out. So I always like that ability of like, they're going to get a benefit from taking out one of your guys, and your guy isn't fully out. He can come back. It's not the end of the world. So I think you can get it. This is the big box, but I think you can get smaller core boxes at retail, and then just get some expansions. It is fluctuating hardcore. I mean, I restarted the machine. There's nothing else I can do. Oof. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Havanis, what's up, dude? I don't know. I don't think so. Chase, I don't know, man. I'd have to ask him. I would have to ask him. They probably do. They'd have to put some thought into it, though. Chase hasn't played many games, but he's played quite a few. He's played quite a few. I'm sure he would have some good memories of this. And an Undaunted. He would probably say Undaunted as well. Okay. That was number... Let's see the stream. Okay, it looks like it's hanging in there. It's hanging in there. Okay. Number 17. Ruination. Oh, man. Yeah, the streams... I don't know, guys. I don't know. Yeah, it's just getting like a strong signal and then it goes away and then it comes back. How bad is it? How bad is it right now? Oh man, it looks pretty bad. Um, yes. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's back up. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. This happens every once in a while. It just gets ripped pretty bad. Okay. I guess while it's fine, let's just get through this. Arkham Horror, huh? It's pretty jumpy. Okay, back up. Yeah, you didn't sacrifice enough victims to Cthulhu. That's why the internet is acting wonky. I think you're right, dude. They were pretty salty that Cthulhu Death May Die was was that low. Yeah, Ruination. Okay. Yeah, so Ruination. This is a an area control game. So this you have a faction. What's cool about this game is the board. It's really tight. It looks like a large board. It looks like a lot going on. The artwork is beautiful. The minis are really well done. I really like them. But you have this faction, and you start on a certain corner of the board, and you don't start out with many units. I think you start out with like 3 units or something like that. The object of the game is to have the most points. So throughout the course of the game, the way that it works is that there's 3 decks of cards. So those cards are going to be scavenge cards, movement cards, and recruit cards. So if you want to recruit more units onto the board, you're going to draw a card from the recruit deck. And these are face up, so you can actually see what you're going to be able to do. So the recruit is going to give you a generic. You can recruit 3 recruitment points worth of units. And you have 3 different units to choose from, each with its own unique cost and something, unique ability that it does. So you're going to play that card. And then from there, you're going to get a bonus of, which track, the glory or the favor track. We'll talk about those tracks in a second. And then from after that, it's going to be an even more of a bonus. So there's like 3 things you can do from just taking this one card. And then so if you want to move your units, next turn you're going to have to choose from that movement deck. And again, that's going to have its own sort of benefits, moving around, doing different stuff. So you're going to be constantly moving around the board. You're going to be getting new resources. There's 4 different types of resources. These resources are going to be used to to get upgrade cards, to play exiles, which are kind of like, not bosses, but think monsters from Blood Rage. They work kind of like that. They have like their own unique abilities. They're going to be on the board. You can move them around and do attacks and stuff like that. So, and then there's going to be other upgrade cards, like I mentioned. The coolest one is like this giant worm that you can get. It rolls its own special die in combat. And then so you're going to be moving around the board right when you get into a zone with another enemy. Now you're going to be having combat. So you're going to have a certain amount of strength and what is it called? Like sacrifice points. Units that the enemy will have to, a number of units that they'll have to sacrifice after the battle, even if they win. So what's awesome is, depending on let's say I have 3 different types of units in that battle. I'm going to be able to roll 3 dice. And once I roll those dice, it goes back and forth between you and the defender or the attacker, however, whatever you are. And you're going to use each one of those dice to activate. So let's say I rolled a side that adds 2 strength to my overall. It's my turn. I use that die. Now it goes to them. They can use one of their dice that they rolled. So they might say, okay, I rolled the favor die. I'm the highest on this certain track. They rolled a special die that I couldn't. They're going to get some blessings. So they use that die. It's back to me. I have a star symbol. I can use that to activate a power and get another strength, from my board. Then it goes back to them. From those 2 blessings, they're going to use one of those blessings to re-roll one of their blank dice. And then it goes back and forth, and you're activating the dice like that until whoever has the most strength. And then after the battle, a certain amount of units are going to be sacrificed. In this game, there's a lot of, your army can get just absolutely wiped out, but it's so easy to come back. There's a lot of combat. I mentioned it's a close board. Even if you're at one end of the corner and there's an opponent at the complete opposite side, there's only one space in the middle dividing you. So you can actually, from your whole corner, you can go to the whole completely opposite end of the board. So really close space, a lot of combat. I just like the fast-paced, how fast it is. And then again, those activation decks, if you want to, get resources, because that's going to allow you to get upgrades and the exiles. Well, now you need to do the scavenge deck. That's going to take me over to this side on the glory track. I hit a certain space on that glory track, and that's going to allow me to recruit more points as a bonus. So it's got this really cool. Each action feels like you're doing quite a lot. Maybe even dabbling into some of the other actions as well. But it's just, I like it, man. I got a playthrough of this with some buddies. Just had a blast with it. Really, really cool. Let's see. Doug, what's up, man? What is up? Okay, it looks like, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like the stream is hanging in there. That's good. Yeah, so Ruination. There is a solo mode. I have not played it because I cannot get my hands on it. I cannot find the solo mode anywhere. I've tried. I've reached out to the publisher asking if they're going to ever have copies available. They said possibly in the future. That's Colossal Games. But I do not know. It didn't do so well. I think it was at the start of the... really when the pandemic was kind of... almost at its peak. It was somewhere around there. So it was like, people were freaking out. They weren't back and stuff. And it's just kind of, it fell to the wayside. But there is a lot of combat in this game. I do recommend it. If you like area control and just a lot of combat and stuff like that. So yeah, that was Ruination number 17. Okay, number 16. Street Masters. Number 16. This, I had Contra at number 22. I look at this as like Contra's big brother. This is from Blacklist Games as well. Sadler Brothers. It's kind of doing somewhat similar things, just in a little bit more complex manner. So it kind of gives you the Street Fighter vibes. You got this pretty small board, which I like. I like the space that it takes up. Not a lot of space. So you're going to be going around this board, and there's a lot of different environments, which are cool because they add their own sort of deck that they're going to do in those environments. You can mix and match with different types of bosses that are going to have their own deck and what they do, different types of enemies. Each enemy is going to do something slightly different on each level. So you're going to be going around trying to complete these objectives and take out the boss, or at least preventing them from completing their objective and take them out. Each character is going to have their own unique deck of cards and ability. Stuff like one-time effect cards, move this many spaces, roll this many dice to try to attack. You can play, get a tableau of cards going, so you can play these tactic cards. So you're kind of leveling up a little bit over time. You can exhaust these tactic cards to do certain effects. They're going to grant you, getting you more power. So throughout the course of the game, you're going to be getting this power to get a stronger side. You can flip your card. They're going to have this strong ability that they're going to be able to do. So it's just kind of like run around this small board, taking out enemies, trying to stop them from completing the objective. excuse me, or, you know, trying to do some sort of objective yourself. Then the enemies are going to activate. They're rolling their dice against you. You're going to have these certain amount of tokens, these guard tokens. There's 3 different types, and you're going to spend those to try to block their hits. As you block their hits, that's also going to convert into power, which is going to allow you to level up. When you're performing attacks, your attack is going to say what type of damage it does. And so if you do punch damage, a certain amount of punch damage, the enemy is going to have those same types of tokens, possibly. So they're going to use those tokens to spend and block your attack as well. So you might have one character that is good at kicking. So this enemy is good at blocking punches. So we're going to bring this character over, try to take this guy out. We know they can't block and stuff like that. It's got exploding dice, which are always super fun. You can have these epic turns. But I just love the different characters, how they work together, the different environments, the bosses. Again, I love the small form factor. It does kind of give you this Street Fighter-esque feel to it. You know, the characters kind of look similar. It's Street Masters. Like you got guys that look straight up like Ryu. It's pretty cool leveling up, getting these different guard tokens, you know, blocking with them, powering up, doing your strong ability, getting these tactic cards, and just getting stronger over time. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. 16, yeah, man. And I am super excited. Freddie, I think I mentioned this the last time I did a playthrough. I think I have 2 at this point. The first time or 2 I played this, I was like, you know what, I do like this. I like some things that it does, but, you know, it's okay. The last few times I played it, man, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I'm hooked on this game. Sign me up. And I was super excited. You know, me and you both backed the latest campaign and stuff. I'm super excited for that stuff, man. I love a lot about what this does. It's super cool. And that's one of the things. It's similar to Contra. I think all their games kind of are Blacklist, right, from the Sadler design, but they do something slightly different. I love them both for what they do. I love Contra. I feel like, you know, in Contra you can play a little bit faster. It does some stuff differently. But this, it's like if I want a little bit more complex, I want to build out my hero a little bit more with the tactics. I love having that option with this. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully this year you'll get all the other stuff. That's right, skyrocket up the list. I could see it rising a little bit. I need to play it a little bit more, but definitely love this one. Brad, what's up, man? Late to the party. What number are we on? This was 16, number 16. Love the cover art. Yeah, this is a good one, man. The artwork is really cool. I hear a noise, but it's my cat scratching something upstairs. I don't have a guy that looks like Ryu. Okay. Yeah, so that was 16. Brad, I'll give you a small recap. So 20 was Ash's Reborn. 19 was G.I. Joe deck building. 18 was Super Fantasy Brawl. 17 was Ruination. And 16 is Street Masters. Okay. Number 15. Number 15. This was going to be a shout out to Curtis. But this is Return to Dark Tower. I gotta say, man, I have really been liking this one lately. Each time I play this, I think this does have potential to get in my top 10 at some point. This is you have these heroes, and you're trying to defeat the main boss, and you have a main goal as well. What I really love about this is, first off, I mean, the tower is just spectacular. How the tower works, it is amazing. Putting the skulls in there is fun, seeing where they're going to end up. You know, you can assign them to certain cities and stuff like that. Villages, just different locations, depending on where they come out. Each of the bosses acts differently. Each of the quests is going to act differently, so you're going to be traveling across the board. And each hero has their own different, like their banner action, the thing that they're going to be able to do at the start of the game. Then you can do different actions like battle. You can quest, you can cleanse, so you can get rid of some of the skulls. And then after that, depending on what location you're on, what type of town, like I say a village or something like that, you can do different actions from there. You can get more warriors, you can buy items, things like that. Potions, different gear, gain spirits. And so you're going to be spending these warriors to combat other smaller types of enemies on the board. So when you get into a battle, the enemy first off is going to say how many cards you're going to have to draw. So let's say it's the lowest tier, it's a wolf. You know you're going to have to play 2 cards. Well, the app that it uses is fantastic. It has this background ambiance noise. It really gets you into the theme. So when you're battling, the app is going to give you a selection of maybe 8 cards. You have to manually choose 2. They're face down. You don't know what they are. So it's going to say you have to lose 20 warriors, for example. A level 2 isn't going to say something like that. So maybe let's say you have to lose 10 warriors. Throughout the course of the game, you're going to be able to get what's called advantages. Your character might say you have advantages on like forest, or desert, stuff like that. So if you're battling that enemy on a forest, you might have 2 advantages that you can use. Well, you're going to click the app and it's going to say it's going to go down. It might say now you only have to lose 5 warriors. Maybe if you have another advantage to use, you can use it again. Now instead of losing anything, maybe you gain a spirit, something like that. So it pays to have multiple advantages and to pick and choose where you fight, where you quest, how you go into these caves, stuff like that. So throughout the course of the game, you're going to be getting new gear, new items that are going to give you different advantages and certain types of stuff. You're going to be tackling these quests as they come up. And then so it's played over a certain amount of months or turns. And if you don't defeat the main bad guy in a certain amount of time, then you're going to lose the game. But it's fun just playing the skulls in, leveling up your guy, just running around the board. The board layout looks super cool. I play it on a Lazy Susan so I can spin the board around. Again, only played solo. I usually play with 2 characters. That works out fine. They kind of help each other out, so it feels good. It doesn't feel like it's too much. Just something about this with just the background music. It gets me into the theme. It plays quick if you know what you're doing. I say quick, but I guess it's one of those games that even though a lot of time goes by, it doesn't feel like that. It's one of those types of games. I've just been loving every single playthrough. I recently got the, not the Covenant expansion, the Alliances expansion. But man, I really like this one. And again, I can see this rising a good deal. This is one I want to try. My wife played it without me a few weekends ago, and she keeps telling me about it. Yeah, man, this is it's good, dude. It is really good. Again, another game at first I was like, because I think when I was playing, Curtis was like, for that main boss, dude, you got to get like 100 warriors. Like, you got to get a lot. And I did, and I didn't end up needing those. So that for that whole first game, it was like a 6-hour playthrough. I was going around trying to do a lot more than I needed to. So I could have just been doing all this stuff. And then since then, if I got like 10 warriors and like 2 advantages when I'm going to fight this guy, I'm just running in and trying to tackle him. If I lose warriors in the process, that's fine. I didn't take any, I didn't get any corruption cards. So it's just been fun. It's been a lot faster playing recently, and it's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast. Okay. So that was number 15. Number 15. Oh, really? Santa has advanced to 4-0. No kidding, Rufus. Man, that's what's up, dude. Getting into the holiday spirit, man. And I love to see some dice thrown. Okay. Number 14. Number 14 is Lords of Helis. I know prior, when I was talking about Zombicide, I put out 2nd edition and Marvel Zombies. This is, and I said it was for that system. I know Lords of Ragnarok is out, but this is specifically for Lords of Helis. It plays different enough. It's not as complicated as Lords of Ragnarok. and I think I like it a little bit more for that reason. So you're going to have your own faction. This is an area control game. Takes place in this alternative Greek mythology. So you have this hero, and each hero has their own kind of unique ability. Your faction board, you're going to start out with leadership. I forget what the other one's called, but you're going to have 3 stats that are going to do different things. So like leadership, for example, is going to say how many units you can have on the board at a certain time. So you're going to have your army. So each guy is going to represent a single strength. And then so throughout the course of the game, you're trying to accomplish, you can win by one of 3 ways. You can defeat 3 monsters. You can control a certain amount of territories or lands. I forget exactly what they're called. They might be regions. Or you have to control a certain amount of regions with, a certain amount of temples. So like, let's just pretend it's 3 regions with temples, stuff like that. So you win in one of these 3 types of ways. So there can be some strategy. Okay, what am I going to go for? Am I going to try to conquer the most land? Am I going to just try to control these regions with temples? Or am I going to try to defeat 3 monsters? I love the options that it gives you. And it can be kind of sneaky. Like me and Lauren have a playthrough of this. But, I feel like she was kind of sneaky. I didn't know exactly which victory condition she was going to go for. I knew it wasn't monsters because she wasn't defeating any monsters. That's what I went for. So I thought at first she was going to be trying to capture the temples, but I think she was trying to go for a certain amount of lands. And she was like, I want to say like 1 or 2 regions away, territories. Again, I'm forgetting exactly what the little ones are called inside of the big lands. But she was like 1 or 2 away from controlling those. And I moved my units in to kind of block her, to take control back. And it's fun in that aspect, seeing what everybody's going for and trying to stop them. Your leader is on the board. Your leader can go through anything that they want to. They're going to be trying to go on these quests, which are going to give you, different abilities, maybe raise some tracks, one of those tracks up, allowing you to, have more units on the board and stuff like that. One of the tracks is to how many spaces your hero can move. And so combat is very unique, but there's also these statues on the board. Zeus, Athena, and what's the one that runs really fast? Not Ares, that's the god of war. One of those guys. So there's 3 different monuments on the board. And they start out at the first level. So throughout the course of the game, these models, you're going to construct those, they're going to get bigger and bigger. Well, the cool thing is, as you gain priests and you pray to them, you're going to get certain benefits depending on what level that they are. And you're also going to pick special actions. So one of the special actions might be to move all of your units. One might be to recruit extra units. One might be to fight the monster. And one is going to be to build the monument. The cool thing about that is you're going to get those certain amount of points depending on the level of the monument. The whole board's going to reset. Now you can take those other special actions, which were already exhausted from you using them already. It's just, I love the board layout. I love getting all these, like the events are super cool. The artifacts from defeating monsters or from controlling the regions with the monuments. There's a lot to like here. I really enjoy this one. And I think it plays pretty smoothly. There's a lot of interesting decisions on, man, I got to do the build monument before those, or, but I need to go over here to build this temple so I get a priest so then I can pray. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. I really enjoy this one as for doing what it does. Love playing this with other players. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Hermes, yeah, Hermes. That's it. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, Lords of Helis. And I think it is pretty easily accessible at retail still. I think I want to say like 50 some bucks, maybe 60. And there's a lot in the core game. That's all you need. Okay. That was 14. 14. I think I'm going to lose some subscribers for this next pick, but it is what it is. Speaking of Dice Throne, Rufus, this is Dice Throne. So, this has a Yahtzee-esque mechanic. So your character, they're going to have this trifold board Yeah, Freddie, it's good, man. I'd love to play that with you, man. So you're gonna have this trifold board. Each character is gonna do something different. They're gonna have different options on their board. It's gonna do different things. You're gonna have these amount of dice. You're gonna roll these, and you're gonna pick and choose. They have numbers and symbols on those. So one ability might say you need 3 of this symbol and 2 of this symbol. Okay, well, if you want to do that, now you can use those dice. You can use that ability, but you have some rerolls. So if you didn't get anything, you can reroll those dice 2 more times to try to get something. There's also abilities that you're going to need a straight. So I mentioned on the dice, there's numeric values on there as well. If you get a 1 through 5, now you can use those to do a large straight and do a powerful attack. If you roll all 6s, you can do your ultimate ability, which is a super strong attack against your opponent. Can't be blocked. You're going to have a deck of cards that might be instants. Maybe you can beef up your attack a little bit more. You can change dice. So if the enemy says, they got their ultimate, right? They rolled all 6s. They're going to say, okay, I'm doing my ultimate against you. Not so fast. I'm playing a card that's going to make you re-roll that die. You could get another 6, and it's happened before. And those are the epic moments why I love this game. It's simple enough. You're going to get CP to be able to play cards, but it's just chaotic. And it's so simple. The games play pretty quick. Just dealing these damage to the opponent, seeing what they play. It's got this Magic the Gathering element of, like I just mentioned, kind of the instant cards, being able to do something on the fly to mix up your opponent or to make your guy, make the dice cooperate with you a little bit more. I just like that. And then having all the options available. So, and sometimes it does happen. Even though you have a number of abilities, you wouldn't think you'd be able to miss any attacks. But it has happened that I don't roll anything. And it sucks when it happens, but it adds to the nature of the game. And then you can level up those abilities to make them even stronger if you roll those and use those. Each character has, I guess not all characters, but a different type of defensive ability. So your character might not be good at blocking incoming damage, but it might say, I'm going to deal damage back to you. So whoever, defeats the opponent wins the game. I play this a lot at 3 players, and I think it works extremely well. It's really cool to just be like, okay, Matt has the most health, I'm attacking him. And the book says if you attack the person with the most health, you get a benefit of just drawing a card immediately. So it kind of pays off to do that. Plus, I like to do that to keep all the players in the game as long as possible. I just have such good moments with this. I mentioned a few times in some videos and on the Discord, this is kind of that game that, if we just played a complex game, let's bust out a game of Dice Throne or something like that. Let's pick out some different characters, and let's just try to, we're just drinking some beers, having some fun, and just playing a semi-easy game. And it's got that magic element, but just dice chucking, the chaotic nature. It just does something special for me. I don't care. It does something for me, man. I love the game. I love the game. Let's see. No, you can play this. You can play this up to, I think you can play this with 6. I think you can play it with 6. Yeah, I know you can play it for 4 with 4, but I think you could even play it with more than that. And it just balances out. So basically the only thing that you have to manage, I know 2v2 has some special rules, but if you played at 3, and even if you play it at 2v2, it basically just says, you just adjust the health values. And I read somewhere, you're basically just trying to stay around 100 health across all players. So when we do, 3v3, we're doing either 30 or 35. Not 3v3, 3 players, 30 or 35. And it keeps it a little bit lower compared to 50 health if you're doing head to head. It just does something special for me. I used to have adventures. I liked adventures for what it did. I think if you can only play this solo, I think that's a good route. But I sold adventures just because every time I think about Dice Throne, I just want to play this way. I just want to smash my friends' faces in with some ultimates. Let's see. My wife and I had an epic battle of Doctor Strange for Scarlet Witch. That's what's up, man. I thought I finally beat her and her crackle, but she killed me with her counterattack. That's what's up, dude. See? And both of you lose. Both of you lose, and I think it specifically says that, but you know, you take each other out. Nobody's a winner. Do I have? What kind of question is that, Rufus? Do I have Santa? Get out of here. Me and Tim played a game of this. He was Santa. He did hit me with some eggnog upside the head. Yeah, that's and I was Krampus. I do like, because Krampus has his own deck of cards that he's got to draw through and use differently. I thought that was cool. Dice Throne Adventures, and I backed all new gameplay content for X-Men. So I'm just gonna get the new battle chest box for X-Men. I'm not gonna get the solo missions. They looked pretty cool, but again, I just don't want to pay that much money for it. Get it? I think it was only like $60, but still, I don't want to get it and just be like, yeah, this is cool. I'm playing 2-3 missions, but again, I just want to play with head-to-head. Hits the spot, yeah. I've never played Unmatched. I can't comment on that one. Unmatched it looks kind of boring to me. It just looks kind of boring. I'm not saying the game is boring. It could be really good. But I don't know, like the board just looks kind of meh to me and other stuff. There's all the different damage types. Yeah, I agree. I am fully with you, Rufus. There's like, you know, stuff that you can change, you can alter, but you can't, like, you know, dodge or whatever it is, or stuff that, you know, there's like, I think there's like 5 different types. Yeah, you said 5. Yep. And I think you're right. They could have had, you know, defendable, unblockable, and then maybe like ultimate. You know, so it's just, I think they could have just went that route. I think it would have been much better, because that is still my biggest question. Is like, I got to look through the rule book, you know, because it says on the card, you know, it does true damage. Well, now you got to look at the book. Okay, true damage, it can't be blocked, but it can be altered. Okay, it can be altered, but it can't be avoided. And it's just like, oh man, just give me 3 different types of damage. Yeah. But yeah, that is Dice Throne. Again, it does something, man. I just love it. I just love, and it's so quick. You just go, okay, let's play a game of Dice Throne. Boom, here you go. Okay, here's the cards. Shuffle them up. I got my tokens. Let me just read a quick, brief. Okay, I can do this. This token does this. This token does this. And that's one of the cool things. The negative effects and the positive effects from the tokens. I just love that. Okay, I'm going to throw this poison token on you. You have to roll a die at the beginning of your turn. If you roll a 6, you give it back to me. If you roll these values, doesn't do anything. And each character plays pretty differently. And then we're in a game in 5 minutes. I love that. I love that. You got to reference the tablet every time you do. It's true. There's a lot of characters. There is a lot of characters. But I like it. I like having them all. I have all the characters just so, because I know I'm going to play this a lot in the future, and it's just going to be cool to have all those options. This is a forever one. This is never leaving, ever. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, my nose is getting a little stuffed up. Okay, so that was 13. Number 12. This is a drop. Blood Rage. So I love Blood Rage. At one point in time, you could have asked me, and I would have said, this is my favorite game. Played this a bunch of times with buddies. They really liked it as well. There's a lot to like here. I know the reason why it got pushed down is just because of some other games that are kind of refreshing for me. But either way, Viking game, area control. You're gonna the land is being destroyed through Ragnarok, or these Viking clans. I like that everybody starts out the same, but over the course of the game, you're gonna level up your guys. You're gonna get these epic looking monsters. Your leader's gonna level up. You can level up your ship. Your warriors and your clan is just gonna get stronger and be able to do different abilities. And then so you're trying to control these regions. You're trying to pillage these certain types of regions. And each region is going to have, this might say you're going to gain rage from this. So you have these 3 different types of tracks: rage, axes, and horns. So you're trying to raise each one of these tracks on your board because rage is what's going to allow you to perform actions. So you want more rage in the future rounds so you can perform more actions. Simple as that. Also, the axes, I believe it's the axes, is going to determine how many units you can actually have on the board at one time. More units, you can have more strength in battle to hopefully win those battles. And then the horns, that's going to be how many points you win for defeating and winning those battles. So it's this really cool element of just, where do I want to go? I know Rufus and I played a game. So Rufus is in this section with, rage. He's going to try to get that. Do I try to go in there? I got my monster I could play that's going to give me a lot of strength. Maybe my monster is going to defeat all the units in that region. So do I want to do that, or do I say screw it? I know they're trying to go there, so I'm going to try to go over here. I have a quest card that is in this region here, so I'm going to go here. There's a lot of different cool stuff of, decision making and stuff like that. The draft element at the beginning of each phase is really cool. You pass in these cards around, and then so you're going to pick a card. Oh, I really want that. Oh, I don't have any quest cards yet. I need a quest card. I need to get some points. But I can't pass up this Heimdall's card, or, this Odin's card. But also this monster is in here. Can I pass up the fire giant? No, I can't. I got to take the fire giant every time. So then you pass around what's left. They're going to draft their cards. And then so those cards are eventually going to come back to you. So there's also this element of, oh, I know one of them took that card, obviously, because it's not in here. So that's going to be something I might have to plan for, throughout the course of this whole, act. One of them haven't played that card yet, so I got to keep that in mind if I go to this location. There's just a lot of cool stuff here throughout the course of the game. Different territories are going to be, going through Ragnarok, being destroyed, and you're trying to have the most points at the end of the game. Just really like the game. Still really like it. It's still really high, but again, I think it just dropped. That's the second time I said I think. I know it just dropped because of 2 other games. 2 other games just kicked this one out of the top 10. I will probably always like this, but it's one of those that I've played a lot of Blood Rage. I've seen what it can do, still like it, but sometimes it's just, okay, let me see what else is out there. You want something a little bit more refreshing, and I just really have been liking the mechanics of some of these other games. So always like it. There's a fantastic digital version of it as well, so it's always fun to just be able to do that instead of busting this out. But yeah, Blood Rage took a little bit of a dip, but still really good. Still really like it. I don't think I played this at all this year, Rufus. I don't think we played this digitally this year. If I don't play it in 2024, I could see it falling a little bit more. But yeah, that is Blood Rage. And I don't know the status. Are they still coming out with a Blood Rage 2.0? Or I know they were talking about that. Or at least there was rumors floating around. Okay, and then number 11. Number 11 is Maximum Apocalypse. Number 11. Played a few times, had a Thursday Night Game Group. It's roughly in development. Oh, okay. So they are still going forward with that. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. So number 11 is Maximum Apocalypse. Yeah, man. I fell in love with this game as well. Another recommendation by Mike. So shout out to Mike. He's been on a hot streak lately with me. But I initially got Wasted Wilds, which is a slightly smaller box. This is a Legendary Edition. So you're going to be playing as these characters. This is a post-apocalyptic game. And you have these characters. They're each going to do something pretty unique. They're each going to have their own unique deck of cards. So like the chef is going to have a lot of knives. They can throw knives. Maybe the construction worker can set up, roadblocks so enemies can't spawn on certain tiles. Stuff like that. But then you're going to have your mini on the board, And all of these tiles are going to be face down. And what's cool is you can kind of orient the board kind of how you want to. There's a little bit of freedom and customization with how you set up these tiles. You don't want to set it up with some narrow choke points, because if you get some bad tiles traveling across those tiles, you might have to travel back, and that's going to be it's not going to be too pretty. So you can kind of customize the board setup, kind of how you want to. And I do like that element of it. But there's going to be these monsters spawning on the board. There's a ton of different types of monster decks. Each of the monsters is going to have a different health value, stuff that they're going to do to you. So throughout the course of the game, you're going to be trying to complete your objective. And your objective might be to get 3 fuel, maybe depending on how many players, exploring this cave, finding survivors, getting them back to the van or back to someplace, whatever the objective may be. So you're going to have to go through these tiles, flip open these tiles, search the tiles, and try to find your fuel, try to complete your objective. You're looking for the shelter to get back to, winter's coming, right, or something like that. So you're trying to find all these locations. Locations are going to do some bad stuff. Some locations are going to be pretty good for you, but you're going to be fighting off these monsters. You have these cool weapons that you're going to be using. I really like the synergy that the cards of each character has. One thing that I really like as well is that it feels like you can be strong right from the beginning, right? It's not like a Zombicide where you start off with a baseball bat and you're trying to spend, maybe you're spending all game trying to find a decent weapon. Some characters might not even find that throughout the course of the game. In this, you start out strong. In your opening hand, you might have a really good weapon. You can play that weapon into your hand, and then you can use that. You can shoot that a weapon immediately. You get 4 actions, so you can just, right off the bat, if you have an enemy, you can just shoot them with a strong weapon. And it's just like over the course of the game, you're going to be getting a little bit stronger, but being able to do really cool stuff and be strong right from the beginning, it feels good. It feels good just being able to, I just got this like zombie bear. How am I going to take this guy out? Okay, I got a bazooka already. You know what I mean? I can shoot him in the face and almost kill him or kill him. It feels good. I love this element. It's pretty straightforward. I love how the card system is in there. I feel like different characters synergize with each other as well. I usually play this with 2 different types of characters, and it's just a good fun system to just run around, explore tiles, and you can find different gear and items and stuff like that. There's 3 different types of decks. So you might flip open a tile and over a tile, and it might say, okay, now you can search through the red deck. Red deck's going to be like more of like your fuel, so you have a higher chance to find fuel in that deck. Blue is going to be like gear, so maybe like flashlights, extra space in your backpack, stuff like that. So green is going to be for food, because you might start to go hungry. And if you go hungry, you're going to start taking some damage pretty fast. So you got to manage this hunger as well. It's just solid fun, man. And I've just had a blast with this. It's a huge box, but there's just a lot of the same content in here. So it's really not complex to set up and play through objectives. It can be pretty fast if you know what you're doing. And it's cool to just set up a scenario, throw over some tiles. You know what your objective is. And the cool thing is you can kind of it's simple enough that it gives you the freedom. If you kind of want to make your own objective, you're just going to say, okay, we're running from, these zombies or these insects or these aliens or dinosaurs, right? Or all of the above. We got to get to this certain location to find this, to set off this beacon so we can come down and be safe. Whatever you want to do, it's pretty easy to just make that up on the fly. Okay, we need 3 fuel to run the generators to be able to send this signal out and then get back to this location. Get back to the van to beam us up. Whatever the case may be. I just like that. It's easy enough to get games going, and it plays relatively quick as well. And for such a simple, mechanics wise, there's a lot of great decisions in this. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Freddie, yes, yeah, man. This is a good one, man. I have fallen in love with this. It's a good one, dude. This is Jill's number 4. Sweet, Mike. Got to go full apocalypse. That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's right, Brad. Driver and mechanic is a super fun and thematic combo. Highly recommend. Yeah, and there's like the like not the leader, but what is it, like the old man or something like that? He's got his dog out too, so you can kind of assign damage to the dog, and then you can even bump up the dogs, so like the dog can do like a stronger attack and stuff like that. It's a lot of different characters, really cool. I'm excited to dive into all the characters. Makes my spot on the Patreon screen, and Mike gets the credit. No, it was you too, Freddie. I know, because you recommended it to Mike, right? Mike got it because of you, Freddie. Dude, Freddie, it always starts with you, all right? It always starts with poor Freddie. Freddie, I'm sorry, dude. It always starts with Freddie. It trickles down, right? So thank you, Freddie. Thank you. You're the true hero here. And I did, like I mentioned, I did start with the Wasted Wilds. And I do like the Wasted Wilds. One thing that I don't, at least right now, I'm not too big a fan on is in the Wasted Wilds, they added like this, what is it, the clan? Not the clan. Is it called clan? Is it the clan? Oh, I'm forgetting what the name of it is. But there can be a certain type of enemy in there that you can try to like win over, so you can kind of become friendly with those types of monsters, whatever the case may be. So there can be this element of, do I get friendly with them? Right now they're not going to attack me, but they're not friendly with me either. I think that for me, and I know Mike has touched on this, for me that adds a little bit of complexity. Not saying that it's hard to do, but I think it just adds an element of a straightforward game that I'm just like, dude, I don't care who they are. I just want to run around. Okay, they're in my stack. Okay, I'm going to blast these guys, right? I don't want to think about, I got to spend this, to get them on my side. There's kind of a cool element there, and I think some people might really like that. But I think for me, this just comes down to, dude, let me just run to the tile, explore the tile, enemies on there. I just want to blast them away. I don't want to think about making peace. I just want to do my own thing and just get the hell out of there. It's one of those tribes. Yeah, tribes. That's right, tribes. Yeah, I think so, and again, I think some people could like them. I think what they tried to do with it is really cool. Trying to mix it up with the tribes. But again, with this, I just want to run in. I just want to run and gun. Been playing Final Girl. My voice is going too. Been playing Final Girl and while watching the stream. That's what's up, man. Which scenario? But yeah, the Legendary Edition. If you didn't want to spend as much money on this, I know you can get the Wasted Wilds. You can go directly on their site, Rock Manor Games. You can get the Wasted Wilds. I still recommend that. You can still play that without the tribes. It still comes with all the tiles that you need, a few character decks, stuff like that. That's how I started, and I really liked it. Even the Wasted Wilds, you won't have to spend as much money for this. This isn't as easily accessible. I tracked this down after the Wasted Wilds. I got this on eBay. Just really like it. Really like it. Frodo, just water, man. Just water. Just water. Nature's brew. Nature's brew. Yeah, so that is 20 through 11. 20 through 11. So I think by process of elimination, I think some of you will be able to tell what you can expect. Some that are, take some educated guesses about what's going to be on here. You guys probably won't get some of them. You'll get most of them, but you won't get all of them. I'm curious. But yeah, good stuff so far. Again, I think next year I am going to try to do top 100. I think that could be pretty fun. And what I might do after doing all these live lists, I might try to just do a condensed version, try to do 20 minutes, maybe speak 30 minutes per game. Try to do that with the top 50 just in a recorded video. I think that might be pretty cool. But yeah. So Mike, I hope I saved myself with Maximum Apocalypse and Ashes Reborn. Hopefully I saved myself. If not, I'm sorry, dude. But Dice Throne, yep. Happy with Dice Throne being there. Absolutely. Good stuff. And on that note, if anybody does know how I can acquire a solo box of Ruination, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me. I would love to get my hands on that. I would love to. So yeah, that is the list, fellas. That is the list. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here. And then Friday, like I said, Friday is going to be 10 through 1. Numbers 10 through 1. 10 through 1. Okay, Dice Throne ranked higher than 4 Glory, especially for a 2-player head-to-head, is a sin. Repent, sinner. When Deliverance comes, I'll repent. When Deliverance, the board game, comes, I'll repent. You got it, Dimitri. Yeah, dude, I think, you know what? If I played 4 Glory with, somebody else, and we played a few matches, had some epic turns, maybe one day it could go there. But dude, I have such good memories of just like epic turns, jumping out of the seat. You got the ultimate. You thought you were gonna do something. The opponent changed your dice. You still rolled a 6, or you didn't. So they're jumping out of their seat because they're gonna win. It's just, I have such good memories of just countless battles. With the family, with Tim and Matt, it's been a blast, man. It's been an absolute blast. Okay. All right, guys. I think we'll call it there. And again, stay tuned Friday. Right after this video, I am going to throw up the link to the other video. So click the notify so you don't miss it. And that is going to be Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Going through the Lord and scenario. Okay. Lori's story on the final story, meaning Hans and Maple Street for the final nightmare. I just shot on Lori's bow and he drew. Oh, that sucks, dude. That sucks, man. Oh, man. That sucks, Avanis. All right, guys. That's awesome for sure. Yeah, man. Great Lewis Andrew. These streams have been fun. Yep. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Really means a lot. And I will see you guys Friday. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you Friday.